is Hippie Girl Hub, where creativity meets sustainability. And today I've got a full rack full of simple or easy upcycle projects, depending on what level of easy and simple you are at. This video is about bringing some ideas to the table. I do not have a sewing process of these items, most of them, mainly because I had a lot of other things to get done and the camera setting up was just not on the menu for the week. So I'm going to guide you through what I did to these items, and then after I'm going to put them on and show you how it looks. The reason I like to do it separately is because to have a better camera angle, I need to film it the long way for the spacing issue and to accommodate my height. So that's how we roll. Also, a lot of these upcycles were done in a different situations. So I'm going to tag the videos that kind of relate to these upcycles, that you can see like how it's done, if it helps. But generally, these are really simple and effective ways to change up the look of your old clothes. Also to not waste fabric, because I mean, every time we say, oh, I'm bored of this outfit, and we toss it to the thrift or to the garbage, and all this fabric gets wasted, and we buy new fabric to practice our sewing. It just makes no sense. So for me, this is the best way to be mindful, creative, and use up the waste and turn it into something new and useful. All right, I'm gonna start with this top. This was a blazer, and these were leftovers of the trousers. So as you can see, I split the blazer here into two, so that became shorter. I used the middle part for something else, and I'll show you what. And this is the back. This is the trousers, and you can see the shape is created by the original shape of the trousers, because they were like narrowing down. So in that way, I have no scraps, or as little scrap leftovers as possible. This skirt was already featured in one of the other videos, but I'm just bringing it out here to show you that these are the same items that I have used and upcycled. And you can see how this bottom part of the skirt was the middle part of this blazer, and the sleeves, I don't remember exactly. This belt was made out of also scraps and leftovers, and this trousers got trimmed down, and the bottom parts of the trousers became decorations for this blazer. So there you go, two items got merged. So this could be worn as a set. I'll put it on just to show you. Also, this I think would look really nice just as a top with a pair of jeans. And yes, now another item I would like to show you. This became like a set. This has a little fun story. I spotted this in Kensington Market just before Halloween, and it was like a clearance rack. It cost me $5. This is like a vintage kind of dress, but it wasn't complete. It was not a finished item. I think somebody was sewing or learning, and at some point they gave up and they never completed it. It didn't have any buttons, it didn't have any closing, and also the way the fabric was used, it was stretchy on one way, but then the belt line was really narrow and really stiff. So the sizing didn't really make sense unless you had a tiniest waist and like very voluptuous hips. I mean, I don't have such a dramatic proportions, but I decided to buy it because I thought I could use parts of this as part of my Halloween costume. I intended to wear the bottom half on top of a long skirt that was supposed to be like an earthy witch costume. But I ran out of time to hack anything with it, so I thought, you know what, I'll leave it for later. Finally, I got a chance to craft this. So it looked just as a one piece, and what I did, I split it into two. I added leftovers of a shirt here in front to be able to button it up, because this did not have any closing hooks or anything. On the top, I added also the remains of another shirt just to kind of keep it together. And now I think it's kind of like a fun summer either throw on top of something else kind of skirt, or if you feel like funky, you can wear it. Or I also think it would be fun to use it as part of a Halloween costume for my witchy outfits that I like to do. And now this top, it had this other decorations here on top. I had to remove it because, again, the stitching of the ends was so tight. I think that was the sewing mistake that just didn't go right. And then the other parts of fabric was really loose, so it was really impossible to wear it, even though the idea of it was beautiful. So I also, again, this is kind of like upcycle that I did for pure entertainment purpose. I was not intending it for reselling, or I didn't even know if it's gonna be possible to wear this, if it's gonna work out. So I'm gonna show you how it looks on. I think it still has potential, but again, this is just fun factor item. So I added hooks here in the front to be able to close it. I also added some vintage buttons here that some of them don't even go as part of the set. I just tried to match it slightly just for fun. The back, I added these same buttons as the skirt front has because it was part of the shirt anyway. So I had to cut this out and add like a looser piece of fabric in the back, because the fabric this way stretches, but this way does not at all. So I think that's why it made the sewing a little bit more tricky, and especially for this particular design. So yeah, I mean, you know, this is like a puzzle for me, like a Tetris thing. This is not something that I plan as a inspirational art. This is literally just like, how can I use this little scraps of fabrics and construct it into something that may be like fun, right? So another one, two items got merged together. So this was a dress, like a knee-length dress with long sleeves. Now I like the idea of this dress, but in reality I just started to feel like it's not really most practical design, because for summer long sleeves are too warm, but in winter this type of dress is too thin and it just wasn't working and just not something I was wearing that much. So I decided to split it and turn it into a skirt with ruffles that I made out of shirt that I think you saw in one of my videos that I was wearing. And the reason I decided to cut it up, because it has some glittery stitching that is kind of itchy on the skin. So I thought, you know what, this will be a good way to use it, because colors match and it just gives like a little bit like a clashy, matchy pattern transition. So this is an individual skirt now, and this top, also I made these flowy sleeves that I was sharing also in one of the other videos, how to sew it. So I am going to tag that video just as a reference. This was the video. This is the same idea of turning long sleeve shirt into short sleeve shirt with ruffles. And the bottom part is made literally out of tiniest little scraps of leftovers, and I mixed them all together, and they're a little bit odd. They a little bit longer on some parts and shorter on the other parts, but I left it that way just for the idea of not wasting fabric. I could trim it in a straight line, but then I would have to throw out those little scraps. But I kind of find it fun when it's a little bit odd and it's symmetrical. That's totally like your taste and preference. Oh, I dropped something. Also, these were the bottoms of the blouse of the dress. The bottoms of the sleeves from the dress, and it had like a stitched in elastic. So I thought I'm going to simply cut this and finish off the edges with double fold and turn it into little hair bands or scrunchies, just for fun. Why not? Again, using up the scraps. This dress, I love the color idea and the feel of the fabric because it's like a heavy, flowy drop kind of fabric. It's a little bit wrinkled up, but I did not bother ironing it. Never mind. So this was originally a dress. I tried to resell it at some point, but I didn't even see people like trying it on much. So I thought, you know what, whatever. The dress had potential, but with dresses, it's a bigger commitment. It has to fit everywhere right, and it's less ways you can style it, especially this type of dress. So I thought a little skirt, summery skirt, and a top separately would be so much more practical and easier to wear. And I just split it open. I finished off the edges here in the bottom and I added an elastic. Easy peasy. I do have videos that show how I do this. This is like such a simple way you can do this. And this, I didn't even do anything to it, just cut it with a zigzag scissors here so it would not be fraying. This elastic was originally there for the dress, so I think it's nice to keep it there because it just gives a little bit better shape of just like hugging slightly. I hope. To be honest, I didn't even try these items on yet. Some of them. I just kind of measured it on top of the trousers, so this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna put it on and I'm gonna film it and see if it actually works or not. This cardigan I made started feeling a little bit, I don't know, started bothering me, the ends of the sleeves. I stitched it a little bit wrong, and it was one with a stitch on the outside and the other one with a stitch on the inside, and it was like bothering me, so I decided to cut it off completely and just leave it like this, because for springtime I like quarter sleeves. It makes it easier to wear and it's comfortable that way. Also, the reason I removed this from a rack, another cardigan that I made, actually I think most of all of my patchwork cardigans have sold in the past. This is the only one that didn't sell, but I started to see some little things that bothered me about it, so I brought it back in and I decided to keep it for myself, or maybe I'll throw it into like a very cheap clearance pile at some point. We'll see. I don't know, but I do like how it turned out and I find it like fun. Okay, these 3 items from another video that I filmed with easy DIY sewing upcycles, and I did not put these items on, and some people asked me, they said that it would be nice if I put them on. I ran out of time at that time, so I'll take a chance and put these on in this video just to show you how it looks. You can also go and watch this video to see how I've done these upcycles. They're also very easy and simple, and I don't know if this top actually fits me, just to let you know, so we'll find out. I didn't try to put it on yet. All right, so these are crazy ideas that come to my mind all the time. And like I said, sometimes I buy clothing in a thrift and I wear it a couple of times and I start to notice things that I don't like about it. It's either the feeling or some like the way the shoulders fit or the way the hips fit, or it just becomes like one of those items that I keep it because I like the idea of it, but I don't actually wear it. And with time we build bigger pile of these types of items. So what I've been doing a lot lately is pulling all of these clothes out and just doing something with it. Sometimes if it works out good, I put it on a rack and I sell it. The things that kind of like uncertain if I should sell it or not. I keep it for myself, for my daily life. For example, this top, I made it from scratch from a fabric that I had, and it was on the rack for a little bit, I think last year, and then later it was inside the suitcase, and I pulled it out recently, and I thought, you know what, I don't think I want to put it back on the rack, but what I needed to do to it to make it more fitted for me is to add these kind of little folds here, so then the top fits me better. Maybe that was the reason why it didn't sell. It was too straight and flat, so the curves weren't fitting properly. But it's all a learning process. So here we go. So it's a simple top now I can wear with jeans, and sun is blasting today, so the heat is here. So we're getting closer to the summer. I swear, just last video I was sharing like winter coats and snow, and now I'm like, woo, it's getting hot here. That's so Ontario. All right, so leave a comment, like, subscribe. Thank you for staying here and being here. And don't go anywhere, because I am gonna put these items on, but I'm not gonna talk anymore. You're just going to see how it looks on. Alrighty, I hope you like the video. Bye, 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 bye.